It's a damp May Sunday and I'm in Cambridgeshire for a 10k. Thousands of cars pass here every day. Some may have an idea that there is a private wedding and events venue with beautiful gardens just a mile up this track, but I bet very few know the real history of this place, which goes back 1,000 years. Welcome to Childerley Estates. Chuffed to bits. Isn't it amazing? Buns of steel and liver transplant, sand. Yeehaw! Morning.
Off you go! Have an amazing time. Remember, it is a little muddy in that first field.
As we run through a modern agricultural estate in flat South Cambridgeshire, I thought this run was going to be quite boring. There might be nothing to talk about, but how wrong I was. This estate is on the site of two former villages, Little Childerley and Great Childerley, mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086. So the first manor house, I think, was built in about the 1400s by a guy called Sir John Cutts, who was the treasurer to the household of King Henry VIII and became a very rich man. I have, of course, gone off way too fast as always, so I have to slow down and try and remember more things to talk to you about. It's about 15 degrees, we've had quite a lot of rain, so it's a humid old run so far. The way to our right, you can't see it here, but it's clearly marked on the map, is what's left of the village of Great Childerley. What happened to that? I'll tell you more about that in a couple of minutes. So Sir John Cutts was the first owner of Childerley Manor, and his family then owned it for the next 6 generations, and every one of his descendants, the first son was called Sir John Cutts, so it's quite hard to research because they've all got the same name, and they were all political and judicial heavyweights. And in that 200 years, when the Cutts family were here, lots of quite exciting things happened, and they were clearly very well connected because Queen Elizabeth I, she sent the Spanish ambassador to stay here at one point. I wonder if that was before or after the Armada. And Oliver Cromwell, after he had captured King Charles I, King Charles was detained here briefly, and there is a King Charles room or suite here at the manor to this day. Water station at 2.7 miles. So the goal today is to try and come in under 60 minutes, which for a hot and humid muddy trail would be brilliant, considering how relatively out of practice I am at hot and humid muddy trails. What happened to the village of Great Childerley? Well, the 5th Sir John Cutts, are you keeping up? The 5th Sir John Cutts, quotes, depopulated the village to expand his deer park. So I guess that means he kicked all the villagers out, probably to impress the king or something like that. if there are any Netflix producers watching, I'm pretty convinced that a docudrama on medieval Childerley would make great box office. So the 6th John Cutts had lots of problems with insolvency and then ended up selling off all his estates in the end. There were several in Essex and Hertfordshire and Cambridgeshire, and through the 1700s and 1800s it became an agricultural estate, and it was in the mid 1800s that the Long Barn was built, which is still here today and used as the wedding venue. And the Long Barn at the time was a real state-of-the-art agricultural building, one of the longest of its type built in England. Probably why it's called the Long Barn. That sun is lovely. They're talking about today maybe being the warmest day of the year so far, reaching maybe 20 degrees here today. I say the sun is lovely, but maybe not if you're trying to run 10k. So to bring the story up to the present day, in the mid-1900s the Jenkins family bought the estate, and since then have spent 60 years renovating and restoring the barn and the gardens. I hate hills. Part of today's plan is to get back used to being comfortably uncomfortable. When you're doing training runs, you normally stay comfortable. Coming through. Right. When you're doing training runs, you normally stay comfortable, but when you're doing a race, it's quite normal to be uncomfortable. You're trying to find where does comfortably uncomfortable sit. Not pushing so hard you're going to conk, but equally not leaving anything out when you get back, putting it all out on the track. This particular track we're on now is part of the Pathfinder long distance walk, which is a 46-mile circular walk around Cambridgeshire, starting and finishing at RAF Whitton. And the idea was that... Thanks, Marshall!
Well done, guys.
And the idea was that the current servicemen would honour the Pathfinder squadrons of the Second World War by trying to do this 46-mile circular route in 20 hours. Good luck with that. One more mile to go. And I think the last half is a little bit downhill, so yeah. Thanks, Marshall. There we go. Just one more length of garden walk to go. Half a mile it is. Finish line nearly in sight. Thank you. Here we go. Royston runners.
Amazing job. We've got Georgina Lance.
Blackjack. 58.34, but only 6.04 miles on my watch, so really pleased with that. Average pace 9:42. Absolutely, really happy. Definitely something to work on, but we'll go again. Come on, Les! Go on, Les! Come on, Royston runners! Well done!
Royston runners! Loads of you here today. Eric's coming in now. Come on, Eric! The Royston runners! Yes, Eric! Your turn to finish.
There we go, 10k done. And if you fancy coming back and having a look at the walled and moated Victorian gardens and a house that's been here since the 1400s, parts of it, or watching opera in the Long Barn, or having a wedding celebration in the barn, or Coming and seeing Shakespeare performed in these gardens. Check out the Childerley website, I'll pop a link in. And the next run is, I can tell you now, 2 weeks time, 21st of May. It's at Ford, the Ford Motor Company's Automotive Development Centre, their secret test track in Dunton in Essex, which is where they develop and test all their cars. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell, and then you won't miss a thing when I do that one.